Hey, what's up guys? This is Yami again, back with a new Minecraft Dungeons video. In today's tutorial I am going to share my all-time favorite tanky build with you guys, and this is probably the best build that you can use for very difficult situations. This is a video that I've actually been wanting to make for a very long time. Even before the Creeping Winter DLC was released, I was thinking about this one. Even before the Jungle Awakens DLC, I was thinking about this one. Well, today guys, it is time to learn you every single thing I know about getting yourself as tanky as possible, so you will be able to deal with every single difficult situation. So we're talking about boss fights, big packs of mobs, and even enchanted mobs that look almost impossible to kill. You've probably seen those creepers wandering around with extra damage, gravity, and then also fast attack or something like that. Well, they can be insanely difficult if you don't have the appropriate gear for it. Guys, today I will show you the best possible tank gear which you can get your hands on, the best build, so let's get right to it. Alright, so guys, here we are at the start of the Fiery Forge on Apocalypse level 7. I think this is the perfect place to showcase this tanky piece of armor. So, I also hear many questions of you guys asking why I am using the Splendid robe. Well guys, this is pretty self-explanatory. So first of all, we are using the Cowardice enchantment, which allows me to have plus 40% both ranged and melee damage when I am at 100% HP. Also 2 times the cooldown reduction enchantment, complemented with a third one which is built in on the Splendid robe. Of course, the 2 times cooldown reduction with a +1 extra will allow you to keep spamming your artifacts all the time, which makes up for a perfect speed running piece of armor. Then of course, because of the Cowardice, you want to have full HP all the time, and that brings us to the Fighter's Bindings. So with the Radiance on my Fighter's Bindings, I will be able to heal myself up all the time, and because of the high damage output, the mobs around me will die very fast. Then on the Splendid robe itself, we actually have another plus 30% melee damage, and that will give you a total of plus 70%, and that is a lot, my friends. But this, guys, is a glass cannon and speedrun build that allows you to take down bosses quite fast and at the same time run through levels very quickly. So if you were actually fighting against some very nasty enchanted mobs, well, then you're gonna need a little bit more tankiness. And this is where our tanky armor comes in. The first one that I found was a stalwart armor. This is a perfect example of how tanky you can get. So first off, this bad boy boosts your defense when using a potion, also grants you a 35% damage reduction as well as a 30% chance to negate hits, and this is pretty much the best you can get. Unfortunately though, this one has a 100% longer roll cooldown, and that can be extremely bad in certain situations. So we are going to look a little bit further, and this is actually the piece of armor that you want to go for, the Champion's armor. You don't even need unique part, but I think the unique just looks a little bit better. So we get a certain amount of HP, then also an amount of damage reduction, 35%. Mobs target you more, perfect for a tank, but if you're playing solo, this is quite useless. But then the most important enchantment, guys, minus 40% potion cooldown. This is super overpowered. This will allow you to use your potion almost twice as much in comparison with other players, and this complements so nicely with one of the enchantments out there, which is called the Potion Barrier. Whenever you use a healing potion, you take minus 90% damage for a short time. And guys, this is not a short duration. This is a full 9 seconds on tier 3, which is super powerful in my opinion. But then of course, yeah, we want to get our hands on some other enchantments as well. I think this piece of armor is perfect because I actually got my hands on Final Shout and then also cooldown reduction, and these 3 enchantments are the one necessary for this build. When we actually look at my unique variant right here, so these 2 are pretty much the same. The only difference that you have on the unique piece of armor is that the health potion will also heal nearby allies. This could be useful if you have artifacts that summon mobs or if you're playing with other people in the same lobby, but in general this is a quite useless enchantment. What we are focusing on right here is a minus 40% potion cooldown, which is unique to the champions and heroes armor. Now, let's equip this armor and also go a little bit more in depth about these 3 enchantments. So, first off, of course, we want to use the Potion Barrier, and that is because it makes us super tanky for a total of 9 seconds. So let's check that out for a second. So when we use a potion, of course we will heal everybody around us, but the cooldown is super low. This is actually 60% in comparison with the normal cooldown. So normally your potion would take 45 seconds to recharge, but right now when you do that times 0.6, you will get 27 seconds. And 27 seconds, guys, that means that on 30% of the time, we will be able to use the potion barrier. So we will become super tanky, and this will give us so many opportunities to take down big packs of mobs or an enchanted mob that is shooting lasers or fire trails. Man, this is probably one of the most important things about this build. But then, of course, there are so many more things that you have to keep in mind. So let's check out the rest of the build. We have 2 more enchantments on this piece of armor that are also very important. The first one is the Final Shout enchantment. Whenever your health drops below 25%, all your artifacts are used, and this actually ignores the cooldown periods as well. And if this is on tier 3, guys, this will be available every 8th second, which is super powerful because you can just run around and wait for a couple seconds in order to have this one trigger once again. And for example, when a leap leaf hits you super hard, you drop back to like 15% of HP, all your artifacts will trigger, and this will make you even more powerful. I will show you guys that in a second when we are going to cover the artifacts, but right now I also want to cover the cooldown reduction, because you should definitely get your hands on just one cooldown reduction on any piece of armor you have. This will make such a huge difference, even though 27% doesn't sound like a lot, because sometimes if you're not rolling with cooldown reduction, it just takes way too long in order to use your artifacts, and this game is all about building on your artifacts. So that's that. Now, onto the artifacts. So we have 3 artifacts that we like to use. Not the ones that I currently have equipped, because that is perfect for speedrunning. But we are actually going to take a Gong of Weakening, a Deathcap Mushroom, and then also a Ironhide Amulet. So I was already talking about the Final Shout, and this is because whenever you drop below a certain amount of HP, you will use all these artifacts. And that is also because these 3 artifacts actually have a pretty high cooldown. The Deathcap Mushroom is 30 seconds, the Ironhide Amulet is 25, and the Gong of Weakening is 20. So we will, of course, when we drop low on HP, use these automatically, so you don't have to worry about the cooldown at all. So when we drop on low HP, of course we want to have a little bit of extra tankiness. The Ironhide Amulet comes in perfectly right there. The duration of 14 seconds provides you a major boost of defense. It says a short time, but guys, trust me, this is not a short time. I think the amount of damage that the Ironhide Amulet blocks is like 60%, so that is a really nice amount. And for 40 seconds, guys, that is really awesome to have on a tanky build. Next up, we have the Deathcap Mushroom. This one greatly increases your attack and movement speed, and this also has a duration of almost 14 seconds. If we crank this up to 115, it will probably be exactly 14 as well. So definitely make sure the higher your artifact power is, the longer your duration will be. So make sure to swap out lower power level artifacts. And now you guys are probably thinking, the Deathcap Mushroom on a tank build, why is that? Well guys, you might have heard about the saying, sometimes the offense is the best defense, and that is exactly what we're talking about right here. The Deathcap Mushroom greatly contributes to this build because of its attack speed. Of course, with the movement speed, we will be able to escape from sticky situations a little bit easier as well. But at the same time, because we have an increased attack speed, this one will make us even tankier and more immune to big damage. And why is that? Well guys, listen to this. We have a Fighter's Bindings right here with a pretty big amount of damage. I think the roll on this one is perfect. Correct me if I am wrong in the comments down below, but I've been working with these Fighter's Bindings for a couple months right now, and I think they are god. This is a god roll, literally. So we've got critical hit, which makes, of course, the damage a lot higher. Then also the swirling, so every last attack in a combo performs an attack that will damage all the enemies around you. And then last but not least, the Radiance, a 20% chance to spawn a circular area that will heal all allies within it. So it will not heal just you, but also your allies. In my opinion, this is a little bit useless for healing your allies, because of the range it is super bad, but because of our high attack speed, especially in combination with the Deathcap Mushroom, we will be able to heal ourselves all the time back to full HP. So that is really, really nice to have. Then, last but not least, we also have the Gong of Weakening. This one weakens the enemies around you, decreasing the defensive capabilities, but also their damage. And most of you guys were thinking that Gong of Weakening was just something that allows you to take down bosses super fast, but this also makes everybody around you hit you a little bit worse. So this is pretty much comparable to the Weakening enchantment. Let's see if we can actually find it on one of these weapons. Look at that. Weakening. Your attacks decrease the attack damage of all nearby enemies for 5 seconds. This is pretty much what the Gong of Weakening does to all the mobs around you. The particles or the effect of the Weakening is also exactly the same. So you should definitely get the Gong of Weakening. This will give you a very nice window of opportunity to take down very tanky mobs around you, and of course also prevent the highest claps of damage in your face. So, if we look at these 3 artifacts next to each other, guys, this is a perfect synergy because the Ironhide Amulet makes us very tanky for most of the time. Then the Deathcap Mushroom will simply allow us to heal up a little bit faster because of the increased attack speed. Also will allow us to escape from sticky situations because of the little bit extra movement speed. And then also the Gong of Weakening, which will weaken all the enemies around us so we can clear them faster. But also their hits will be less lethal, which is really nice to have. So, I was just talking about the Fighter's Bindings, saying that this is pretty much the perfect weapon for this build, but at the same time, you can experiment a little bit with your own rolls. For example, I got my hands on a Maulers right here with critical hit, radiance, and then also thundering. This beast will be just perfect for this build as well as the freezing foil, which I got from one of my friends. So thundering, radiance, and critical hit. Because of the high attack speed, the radiance will be able to keep us up 24/7 as well. Then it will slow mobs, which is nice because then they will attack us less frequently, but the damage of course will take care of them before they can actually hit us. Then you also have the Fangs of Frost, swirling, critical hit, and radiance. That would also be a very nice roll, and this just keeps going on and on and on. Just focus on a weapon with a high attack speed and radiance, which will allow you to heal up very quickly. And there we have it, a very nice melee weapon, a good piece of armor, and also the perfect synergy with the 3 artifacts. Most of you guys think that the build always ends there if you are not a big fan of ranged. But guys, even though you're not using your bow, I think this one is very essential to have. Behold my Feral Soul Crossbow. This is a 113 power level unique Feral Soul Crossbow with soul critical boost, but also a +2 soul gathering. This is actually unique to the Feral Soul Crossbow and is very strong for both DPS and tank builds. Why? I'm gonna show you guys right now. So I've got 3 enchantments right here. The first one is power level 3. This simply boosts the damage by 33% on tier 3, and then also a dynamo enchantment. This one adds damage to the next attack after rolling, and you guys have probably already seen my dynamo builds. They are outrageous because they can simply take down any single mob in the game after a couple of dynamo stacks. But this is actually not really what we want to focus on, because we are with Soul Gathering, we want to focus on the Anima Conduit. This one grants you a small amount of HP for each soul you absorb. And this one gives a +1 soul gathering as well, which means we will gather 3 souls every time we kill something, and this will actually heal us for 6% of our maximum health per soul gathered. That means we get 3 souls for every mob, which heals us for 6 times 3 is 18% of our HP for every kill we do. And that is so crazy. So that will make us even tankier, even more impossible to kill for our enemies. So guys, a very quick recap. The Hero's Armor with -40% potion cooldown. The potion barrier will make this very strong because 30% of the time we will be able to activate it. Then of course, when we drop below 25%, we have the Final Shout, triggering all our 3 artifacts. The Gong of Weakening, the Deathcap Mushroom, and then also the Ironhide Amulet, which will contribute to many great things. And then of course, the Fighter's Bindings will allow us to take down the mobs very quickly, heal us a little bit more in the background, and same with the Feral Soul Crossbows. Wow, that actually took a lot longer than expected. Sorry about that, guys, but I really wanted to cover every single detail this build has to offer, so you know exactly what it is capable of. Anyways, I think the Fiery Forge is a little bit weak, so I went straight to the boss rush level. This is a mod, for the people that don't know it yet, a mod where you can fight against every single boss in waves. And they're gonna spawn in not 1 by 1, but 3 by 3. So first off, I'm gonna have to fight some mini bosses 3 at the same time, but in the end we're gonna have to fight 3 times against the Arch Illager and of course also its Ender form. So you will be able to see lasers flying around all over the place. So this is the perfect place to showcase the armor. Let's get right to it. Alright, so wave number 1, 3 evokers. You know that these guys can be super annoying. You can see that my HP is pretty low as well right now. I'm just gonna take down these Vexes for a second. And even though I am pretty low in HP, look at what these souls are going to do for me with the Anima Conduit. It almost healed me back to full HP with 420 HP each. Of course, when the Radiance is doing its job, I will be able to get back to full HP very quickly as well. Now, if we use our potion barrier, guys, we can actually endure so much damage. Look at this. And when we do all our artifacts, we will be able to heal back to full HP in no time. Right now, we are pretty much invincible and we will be able to take down the evokers 1 by 1. With the Gong of Weakening, of course, it goes a lot faster, but let's prepare for the next round. I really like to showcase you guys how fast I can take bosses down and also at the same time endure the flames of the cauldrons, because that is the next wave we're going to expect right now. The flames are so dangerous, guys. When you stand in those, you will die in just a couple of seconds, but right here you will be able to see how strong the potion barrier actually is. Just hitting them at the same time, because then, yeah, they can just trigger both their flames. And look at that, guys. I can just stand in there and nothing crazy happens, actually. I'm gonna do that one more time. Right now, I'm not gonna use any artifacts. When I get super low, this will also hit my final shout, and then I will be a little bit tankier, so I will be able to heal up myself. It will also activate the Gong of Weakening and the Deathcap Mushroom, so I will have some extra attack speed, of course. And this, yeah, just keeps me rolling, guys. When you're into trouble, you can, of course, use the potion barrier, but as you can see, my HP was always pretty high. Okay, I just activated the Arch Illager event. That was not really part of my plan, but now you will be able to see this build in its full glory. So these guys are just porting away all the time, and wow, look at that. They actually dealt a lot of damage to me. Right now, I think it is time to use my potion barrier and go all out to this guy. Bam, that is already number 1 down. That is number 2 down, and there is number 3. So I'm just gonna wait a little bit for my Gong of Weakening to pop up, and then we can take him down very quickly. Ooh, they're actually hitting me pretty hard. Come on, dude. Just a couple more hits. There we go. Right now it will be time for the Heart of Ender. When we kill this demon, this zombie, then it will be party time, literally. So I'm just gonna clear off these guys right here. And then it is time to show exactly how tanky we can go with the potion barrier. Here we go. 3 times Heart of Ender. You can see that they can deal a lot of damage, and lasers will be all over the place. So let me start off with a Ironhide Amulet. Right now, I'm just gonna start hitting this guy. Ouch. Many lasers, many lasers. Potion barrier though. Look at how tanky I am right now. I'm even getting blinded by all these lasers, but the Ironhide Amulet is making it super easy for me to take down 3 of these Hearts of Enders. I think we already killed all 3 of them, which is all that is to it, pretty much. So, yeah, we also have a Mooshroom Monstrosity level right here. 3 times the Mooshroom Monstrosity. I think it is a little bit boring, but they are quite tough as well. Let's just do those as well while we run it anyways. Potion barrier, and they will just hit like babies, man. They will just tickle me. Mushrooms are coming of all the places. One more Gong of Weakening. Ouch. Okay, that hits hard, but Ironhide Amulet will be fine. Ouch. Okay. Healing back to full HP. Potion barrier. A little bit tough to talk right now, but as you can see, I am dealing just fine with these guys. When you actually get your hands on the Gong of Weakening in combination with the Deathcap Mushroom, it is just a dream, guys. And that, guys, is my favorite tank build. It can also pack a punch, as you can see right there, against those Mooshroom Monstrosities. So, Hero's Armor, cooldown reduction, final shot, potion barrier, then your ranged weapon should definitely have an Anima Conduit. Of course, you could take some power to take down bosses a little bit easier as well. Fighter's Bindings with Radiance, or you could also take another weapon with Radiance that has a lot of attack speed. And then as artifacts, the Gong of Weakening, the Deathcap Mushroom, and the Ironhide Amulet. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed watching this video. And of course, leave a comment down below about what you think I should make a video for next. If you want to talk to me, just hit me up on Discord with all the other people. We are doing some trades right there, as well as fighting together, which is awesome. But right now, it is 4 AM out. I'll see you in my next video. Take care, guys.